Hey everyone, I'm Darky. You're watching the second episode of our level editor tutorials for boat crew. In this episode, we will be using some more advanced tricks like creating loops or connecting spawners to each other to showcase some examples of what you can do with the logical flow of the nodes we have. So as we've shown in the last episode, we just begin with a start node. And then we add a waypoint. So what I'm going to do is to create an engagement, especially with the new ships we just added, the Atlanta and the Furtaka. So I want to make an engagement involving those. So let's begin by adding this waypoint now. I'm going to set this a bypass range. It's good practice to do this at all times. So the first waypoint can determine it's like it can start the original spawners and stuff. So I'm going to begin by adding some units to my side to spawn alongside me. Now you should remember that you always spawn on the 0 point, so exactly here, and the mission start node does not actually determine where you spawn. So I'm going to first begin by adding the new Atlanta because I want to see the cruiser in action. And I want to add some more, let's say, let's see, a tender perhaps, right? And then I will add some escort ships for ourselves. And those would be the let's go with the submarine chasers, right? We want a bunch of sub chasers. Spawners allow you to pick different amounts. So say if you just write 4 here, this spawner is going to spawn 4 sub chasers. But one thing you should note is that you should increase the distance between spawns, right? Otherwise they won't actually they won't actually spawn all at the same time because the game won't allow you to spawn units on top of each other. So they're gonna have to wait until the one that spawned first leaves the area so they can spawn all at the same time. So by default, units have patrol behavior, but you can also use waypoints to move them. I'm gonna make the Atlanta go here. Gonna make the sub chasers move here, and I'm going to make the tender move here. So basically what's going to happen is that they're going to follow this waypoint and then get to start their normal patrol behavior. You could also make something like this, if you just make a loop like this, and the unit spawned by the spawner will actually just keep following this patrol route. So you can create patrol routes like that if you don't want the game to just randomly make them patrol. And if it's perfectly allowed to make a waypoint system loop onto itself. So yeah, so here what will happen is that we will spawn into the map, trigger the mission start, that triggers this bypass waypoint, which will spawn our allies into the map. And then our allies will actually move here. Now I want to do something else as well. I want to spawn some allied aircraft because we want air support. Let's just call some Airacobras, for example. So what's going to happen here is that we'll spawn a single aircraft in the beginning, but let's say we wanted to make this a constant spawn. We could just press respawn, and then every time the capacity is fulfilled, Um, every time a unit is lost, new units of the same type would be spawned until the capacity is full again. So this, let's set this to 3, right? And we'll have 3 Aarakocras at all times. So if we lose one, that's no problem. We're gonna get reinforcements. So let's set the opposition up, for example. I'm gonna begin with the Furtaka. And I want to add some escorts for her. Want to add, let's see. Want to add 2 Mutsukis. And then I want to add some more. Let's see. Let's go with the sub chaser here. Small sub chasers. 8 of them. And there we go. Oh. So yeah, that's should spawn 8 of them now. I finally managed to rotate them. So I'm not gonna add a waypoint for them. They're just gonna patrol by default, and we'll be the ones approaching them anyways. And what I'm gonna do is to tie a spawner to a spawner, right? So this is another critical spawner. And let's say after the Furtaka is sunk and she's removed from the game, we want to spawn an Akizuki trying to avenge her. Right, so you can also do this. You don't have to spawn a unit via a waypoint. You can also use a spawner to trigger a spawner. Right. And you can just also you can expand this endlessly and have a constant trickle of reinforcements. Now let me check the guide real quick. So here we have our commands, right? And we've got, for example, we got calling 1, calling 2. So let's say we want constant heat on this mission because the opposition is pretty tough and we want the player to have constant support points. So let's add not a waypoint. Let's say we add a command panel, right? We're gonna trigger it and say colon 3. Now colon 3 command is gonna, as per the guide, it's going to give us heat, right? But then let's say we don't actually want the player to constantly have this heat, and then we want them to just lose this heat after 5 seconds of getting it. So let's say we add a timer, and then we get the heat. After 5 seconds, we lose it. So we don't have much time to use it. And then we add a command here again. We just clear heat. Right, and then we just tie this to, we can also tie commands directly to timers, as we also did here. Another 10 seconds later, we want them to get the heat again. So this loop will be active for the entire game, and we'll constantly gain heat, lose it, then gain it again. So you can do things like this, and let's suppose we don't want these guys to be critical. but we just want to clear all enemies in this area to progress. We can just use an eliminate node, and we tie the waypoint to it, and now it acts as the same as a critical spawner, except it just requires us to kill everything in this area. So every enemy in this area, to be specific. And then we could just add a waypoint, right? And then we want the player to travel, to do a little bit of traveling. So we're going to move it all the way up here. And we're going to, let's say, we want to tell them, good job. And pause the game until they acknowledge that we're telling them good job. And then we can just get an end panel here. Right. So let's just add a settings node. Stormy weather again because I like it. With an alco. So let's just give ourselves a quick loadout. Let's go with the Mark 17s. Arm ourselves heavily because this is not an easy engagement. Let's do this bit real quick. Dual Oerlikons. Yeah, we're gonna go for full Oerlikons. Not at the front though. We had enough Oerlikons, I would say. And then we're just gonna fill ourselves out with some. Oh, so yeah, the Mark 17 on the forward slot is not compatible with the rocket launchers. Okay, so we're just gonna give ourselves Mark 14s. Add another gunner. This is the part you're already used to from the campaign, right? So we're just gonna add some ammo, and then yeah, just get on with it. So yeah, in like less than 5 minutes, we managed to make a functional combat scenario. Let's see how it plays out. Oh, okay, so we forgot to turn these into non-critical objects. As a result, the game is asking us to destroy them as well. Seems we actually well. So yeah, we're gaining heat, but the clear part is not working because I suppose we made a mistake there. But yeah, that should be an easy fix, and we're not complaining, right? Let's go after Futaka. Even with infinite heat, she's not that easy, but of course she's... Oh, she recovered very well from that. I thought she would capsize up for a minute there. Our allies took care of the Mitsukis, and we lost the Atlanta. I only wish we could lose the other ones as well, so... She's taken quite a beating, but she's still in the fight, and she hit us with the beehive shells from the 20 centimeter guns. She's not going down without a fight. We need some heavy weapons to finish her off and put her out of her misery. She's a wreck, but she is still floating. Let's call some bombers. So yeah, that's the kind of fight you can expect to look forward to in the campaign, and there you won't have the benefit of infinite heat. So yeah, good luck with that. And down she goes. So let's finish this off by sinking the Akizuki coming into Avenger. And now she goes. As you can see, the eliminate all hostiles objective has been completed. Unfortunately, because everyone else is also critical, which is a mistake we neglected to fix, this mission currently cannot end. So, as you can see, it's well possible to make a mission that can't end on its own. And so you're going to have to pay attention to things like that. You're going to have to do better than we just did here today. But I hope that was informative and showed you some tricks you can use with the level editor. We'll be back with more next time. Thanks for watching, and have fun playing Boat Crew.